Yeah, I believe in evolution. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't usually voice crack like that. That's really embarrassing, especially on a live in front of 500 people.
that's all right. I'll edit it out in post.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, cat. Anyway, I'm like a young Earth creationist. So what's your like problem with that specifically?
Literally every single shred of evidence runs counter to that idea.
Okay, so do you like have any of that evidence?
Yeah, we can see for billions of light years. That's unacceptable if the universe is 5,000, 6,000 years old.
So we're 6,000 years old, the universe?
You said you're a
I'm
young Earth
sorry. I don't think I
creationist.
No, I thought that wasn't your claim. That's why I'm confused. Is that what you said?
Young Earth creationists think the universe is about 6,000 years old.
Yeah, that's not what evolution says, right?
Uh, yeah, but you said you're a young Earth creationist. So
Yeah, that's why
there are
I'm confused cuz did you
okay,
not just
that's
claim that?
fine. Yeah, I know that's fine. There are multiple layers to why young Earth creationism can't possibly be true. So if we just stick with evolution, then yes, we have incontrovertible evidence that life on this planet goes back uh, millions and billions of years.
Okay. So what would be a piece of that evidence? That's why I'm a little bit confused. Like you said something
The
about
vast majority of the fossil record.
so like can you dig into that a bit? Like what is so the fossil record is that different than like the rock layers or
Well, the fossils are embedded within rock layers, so you can date specific types of rocks and minerals in the layers, and so then you can figure out how old the fossils are. And we get dates of many. I mean, some fossils are. I don't know what the youngest fossil ever discovered is. That's an interesting question. I guess I don't know, but some of them are just a few million, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even a few billion years old.
so how do you know that though? It just seems like
The
people can
science
say that, but like go ahead.
Scientists know how to make scientific measurements. The same way we know that things fall at 9.8 meters per second squared, there's absolutely no real difference qualitatively than how we come to that information versus how we come to the information about how old fossils are.
Okay. So for example, like how old are you? Like 40, 30?
I'm gonna be 35 soon.
Okay. And like how do you measure that? Like do you see where I'm a little confused here? You're talking about measuring time. Like what does that even mean?
Uh, well, for me, what I'm telling you is how many cycles the Earth has made around the sun. When we talk about like regular matter, just in space or on Earth or on the moon or whatever, um, it doesn't have calendars. It doesn't keep track, but there are certain cycles. Calling this one a cycle is a little bit weird, but there are ways that matter change that are that's measurable. So we can count tree rings, we can count sediment deposits, or we can count the number of radioactive isotopes that are in the sample. You really have to look at the ratio of them to other like parent material and daughter products, essentially. So yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really I don't see what that has to do with evolution, but here's kind of like my problem. So, how can you
The
have like
so the fossils from very long ago in Earth's past, none of them are the organisms we see today, but organisms come about through reproduction. So what we have is organisms of the past that were different than the ones of today, but we are their descendants. Ergo, species change over time.
okay, so I mean like I believe in extinction and stuff like that, getting rid of species. How do you know like maybe we started with all of them and they didn't just slowly get dwindled out over time?
Because if that
Cuz
were
that
the
makes sense.
no, well, like logically, I can understand the claim, but uh, So there are fossil sites. I mean, we have so many fossils that we know which organisms did and did not coexist. So, like in the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, I mean, they have found
Mm,
tens of thousands of animals in there. Somehow, no dinosaurs. All these different Pleistocene or whatever era it is, mammals, but literally zero dinosaurs. It's not like they don't find reptiles. Yeah, they find reptiles in there. They find birds in there. They find. I mean, the range of animals is really incredible, but no dinosaurs whatsoever. And it's not like that's hardly the only site. We have the Mammoth site in Hot Springs, South Dakota. We have Ashfall in Nebraska. Huge numbers of sites where huge numbers of Cenozoic mammals have perished. Not a single dinosaur to be found among any of them. Similarly, we know like the Hell Creek Formation, tons of huge numbers of very famous sites where you can find dinosaurs. How the heck is it that there are no woolly mammoths or puppy dogs or kitty cats or people or anything like that in any of them? But then we have literally millions of trilobites. We have so many trilobites that even though they're incredibly old, you can buy them for like $10. They're actually pretty cheap. Really, really good ones are more expensive, but you can get a whole one for like 10, $12. Um, and yet, no dinosaurs have ever been found among them. So we know, and we've been able to date how old they are. So you can tell by the arrangement of the fossils that certain critters never coexisted, and we can track the ages. No dinosaur fossil ever dated to more recently than 66 million years ago. No mammoth fossil ever dated to older than, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but whenever it is, dinosaurs and mammoths never coexisted.
yeah, I think there's a huge problem here. The fact is, like, we don't have any of the animals today fossilized, so how can we even compare that? Like, how is that a fair comparison if we don't have like our own to back it up, the stuff we know is here today? Because isn't that what empirical evidence is all about? What you can see today?
I have literally
You
no
know,
idea what you're even trying to ask. Why would I need a
okay,
fossil of something
basically,
alive
yeah, yeah.
today?
Basically, what I'm saying is like if you're gonna claim that these things from however long ago, what, like 20 million years or something existed, how are you gonna say that these fossils are real if we don't even have fossils of the things alive today? Like, it just doesn't make sense because you're gonna need to have something to compare it with, right?
Yeah,
But you
that
really
that
don't.
does not make any sense. We compare fossils to other fossils. I have no idea why the fact that there are no fossilized Homo sapiens is a problem. I still have no idea.
Well, you would think that if like fossilization was a true phenomenon or something like that, you would expect that it would happen to all everything, not just these
Oh,
older creatures,
yeah.
right?
Fossilization takes an incredibly long amount of time. We can track the rate of like permineralization, the rate at which minerals replace tissue, and it's extraordinarily slow. So yeah, this is fatal to young Earth creationism because we know of bodies that are many thousands of years old, like bog bodies. If you've never looked them up, you should look them up.
No,
They're
I
really
don't know what
interesting.
that is. I know
So
what bar bodies are.
okay, so a bog is like a kind of like a swamp in a way. So there are bodies that have been found in them, perfect conditions for some fossilization, and these bodies date back to 4 to 5 thousand years old, and yet none of them are fossilized. But the creationists are trying to tell us that basically all the fossils on planet Earth happened during Noah's flood. Well, obviously that didn't happen at all. Or you can look at like
No,
the
are you wait. Are you claiming that Noah's flood didn't happen?
didn't happen.
Yeah, are you trying to say it didn't happen?
It very obviously did not happen. Yeah.
No, no, what?
The entire surface of the Earth would have been vaporized if it happened. The atmosphere would be
How?
complete.
Wait. Water doesn't vaporize things.
Oh
I mean,
fucking
like maybe it
god,
breaks them
dude.
down. Like I would agree that it breaks them down. Like if you look at a river or a cave, like obviously water did that over time. But you're telling me water, if it, why isn't the Earth destroyed right now if water is vaporizing things? I mean, like 70% of it's water, right?
Oh, you sweet summer child. So when
What?
when water vapor turns into a cloud, it has to release heat, right?
uh, sure. Well, no, I guess I don't really know where you're going with this, but
So
sure, yeah.
water only evaporates when it absorbs energy, right? Sunlight make water evaporate. You with me so far?
Yes. Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
So then
Because it's hot.
when the vapor condenses into liquid droplets, becomes a cloud, the energy doesn't cease to exist. It has to release the heat.
Okay. And what happens to the heat?
Well,
So it releases, but what does that mean?
it goes into the atmosphere. So this has been calculated many times just to form the rain necessary for the flood would release an amount of heat that would boil all of the water on our planet. So there goes that. Also, the young Earth creationists, again, they claim that the vast majority of the rock layers on the surface of our planet are flood deposits. The problem is
Okay.
for
Yeah, well, that
for
kind of proves
sediment.
my point, right?
No, jeez, no, because when when those sedimentary type rocks like limestone are formed, it releases heat too. Now, it releases a microscopic amount of heat, but we're talking about millions upon millions of cubic kilometers. Well, I don't know about millions of cubic kilometers, but definitely probably billions of square meter or cubic meters. I don't know. Well, if it's billions of cubic meters, then it's millions of cubic kilometers, whatever. Um, this has also been calculated in order to form all of the uh, flood rocks on our planet. It would release an amount of heat that is something like multiple nuclear bombs going off within every square mile. So the atmosphere is obliterated, the oceans are boiled away, and the surface of our planet is vaporized if the biblical flood happened. I look around me and I see that those things are not the case. It didn't happen.
So do you think like the world would have like fully exploded, like it would have gone to the core and stuff like that?
No, I really doubt that.
Okay, so like why couldn't it be just the earth used to be larger? Because I feel like the Bible would even support something like that, the earth being larger at that time. Like do you see what I'm saying? Like how that could be. All
No.
right, bro.
If you're like my guest and you can't read either, I do have good news. I created audiobooks of both my books available on my Shopify store.
I mean, the earth is shrinking, right?
No.
What? Like it's not, it's losing matter and particles that are like floating off into the atmosphere.
No. We're losing our atmosphere at an incredibly slow rate.
Aren't
But
we
no.
losing like water too?
No.
Okay, well, I guess we are like, you know, I I guess like when does it stop being a theory for you? Like what's the w- I'm like a little confused on that part. So, well, what's the difference between a fact and a theory? Let's just start there for this cuz that
Scientific theories are kinds of facts. So there are lots of facts that have nothing to do with science, like this is a pencil. That's not a scientific fact, right? Uh,
it
uh,
definitely is.
no, Montpelier is the capital of Vermont. That is not a scientific fact. This is just something. This is just something that is just known to be true, or well, that's like the definition of what a fact is. But we didn't use science to come to that knowledge.
I mean, what
The
science?
definition of quizzaciously is not. We don't use scientific knowledge to come to know what the definition of a word like quizzaciously is. Um,
How can you even subscribe to science when it uh
I
doesn't even account
we're
for
gonna
all the variables
we're
possible?
gonna do one question at a time. Uh,
Okay.
Scientific theories are kinds of facts that use a specific methodology to gather the information. That methodology is called science. It's not necessarily the scientific method because that's an experimental thing. But there we go. So that is how.
So
So why
then
trust
it's on like
science
the
when it
same
can't
tier
control
as a
for all?
political theory. Like a political
No.
theory is just, yeah, well, it's just like a guess based on things that we've
Well,
seen, but it's not
political
really describing something
political
true.
political science is a kind of science, but it's an extremely low resolution science because of how complicated politics is. Because politics has to
Well, I'm a
deal with
political analyst for Turning Point, so I think I'd know.
oh fucking puke, God, Jesus
What's wrong
Christ,
with that? Well,
literally
you probably
everything.
celebrated when
Not
I
as
don't even
much
know
as
if I'm allowed to say his name.
not as much as Erica has been. She and I have one thing in
Bro,
common. We're
don't
both
even.
extremely
It's
giddy about
disgusting.
it. All she does is run
It's
around
disgusting.
smiling and grifting and taking money and going on
Bro,
world
what is this? This has nothing to
world
do with
grifting
evolution. You don't
tours.
have to defame
You're the one
people
that
and
brought it up.
well, I'm trying to tell you the difference between political science and like
Yes. So
natural science. You don't seem to know though.
politics involves like thousands and millions of people, and people are very complex things. And what can persuade or dissuade them, or the way one particular thing in the country, in the society, or whatever slightly changes, um, and then can change people's opinions, then there goes all of the research and whatever you were doing beforehand.
So
So
I guess where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
well, you were saying that well then that's no different than science. I'm just telling you political science is a kind of science. It's just really low resolution because of how complex it is. Or like the weather.
Well,
You don't think
it's
that
not like natural science because
I know.
it's
Yeah.
not built on natural science. It's just completely different. We're dealing with people.
No,
They're
not really.
not the same.
No,
Oh, absolutely.
the people are treated kind of
Like
like machines.
think about a person versus a dog. Like, do you understand how much variation there is and like a human being compared to like a dog? Like you can scientifically measure
Humans
like
are
what
a
a
little
dog
bit
does,
less
but with a
predictable.
human,
Yeah.
less predictable. Yeah, not even a little bit. They're incredibly less predictable. Like there's no way to actually scientifically measure it. It's all descriptive. You can't really like predetermine something and then sort of um place it into like this political science realm based on natural science. It just doesn't work that way.
It does with
You know, you
conservatives,
first
because
of
if
all
Donald
you have
Trump
to
said that pee is stored in the balls, you guys would all believe it. If Donald Trump said, "Hey, actually, there is no client list. The Epstein
it's
files are a
actually stored in the
hoax,"
bladder.
you guys actually would believe it, and you do. Yeah.
No, no.
If Charlie Kirk went to the
Yeah,
White
of
House
course.
and said, "Hey, I don't like all this like war stuff you're doing," and then Donald Trump said, "Shut the fuck up, nerd. You're going to do what I tell you," which he also did with Charlie Kirk with the Epstein files. Then
Okay,
Charlie
bro.
would go on his podcast and say, "Hey, look, guys, I'm just going to trust the administration on this, and I'm actually in favor of
I mean,
interventionist
you
wars
know,
now." All of a
maybe you
sudden,
should be happy we're not getting
because
bombed.
if you just throw Charlie a little bit of money, then Charlie's a very well trained
Dude, he's
dog,
dead.
or
He's a
was.
dead guy.
Yeah, was.
He's come on,
Was.
dude. That is I mean, like, I don't even know how to react to that. Moving on,
Well,
though,
he was a
let's
pathetic
segue
little
out of this.
grifting dweeb.
Let's segue out of this.
These are just the
There's no point.
facts.
There's no point.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to get yourself banned for this, right?
So you're not in favor of free speech anymore.
No, I'm just saying TikTok would ban you for talking like this. Like if
Okay.
you got enough reports
Do you
stacked up,
support
right?
that?
No.
Okay. Well,
In
then
fact,
what you
I don't even know if I necessarily support free speech. I just think it's
oh boy.
a mechanism that a government uses to sort of control people, not even control people, but they use free speech as a mechanism to gather support rather than they like point to some sort of here's the point. God never said that free speech was a right. God told us not to kill people. Is something funny about that?
So you trust the government to police our speech?
Depends who's running it, but yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, you're such an idiot.
Sure, man. Sure.
And
All right.
and so
So,
was Charlie.
uh,
He did believe in things. To his credit, you know, he wanted to interview Tucker Carlson, and that made Bibi Netanyahu really upset. So, you know, Bibi made some calls and talked to Erica, and they had a fall guy, you know, ready for it. So they took care of that problem. So
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I
So
actually admire Charlie for, you know, sticking up for what he believed in that respect, at least.
one of the few people who care about America left. Well, I guess not anymore, but we have to
Yeah.
carry the message forward.
Except when Donald Trump called him into the Oval Office and yelled at him and told him to stop talking about that particular thing. Then Charlie said, well, you know, I need the prestige and the money and the influence, so I'm going to abandon what I believe in, like the Epstein files and interventionists' war, and just do what Daddy Donald says. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for Clinton to get arrested, both of
Except
them.
for the most important, yeah, I would absolutely love that. Except for when it came to the most
That's
important
my guy.
things, Charlie believed in what Charlie believed in.
Yeah, protecting America freedoms, supporting uh, the middle class, extending its reach, supporting. What are you shaking your head for? What's so crazy about this?
What policy that Charlie advocated for did
Charlie
anything for
didn't
the
make
middle class?
policies. He was a commentary. He did commentary. He didn't
I said advocated for.
for the middle class. Besides the BBB,
Yeah, like what?
the big beautiful bill.
Which did what?
I don't. This has nothing to
Apart
do
from
with
the tax cuts.
evolution. I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like we
yeah,
should get
you're right.
back.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's fine.
Okay, here I'll give my disagree, or I guess my qualms with your sort of position in general. So I'll tell you what. I'd first say I believe in the Big Bang, but the biggest problem with it is that you don't know what caused it. You need a
I
cause to everything. That's how everything works. Like you
that
learn that
has
in
nothing to
elementary
do
school.
with
Cause and effect.
that has nothing to do with whether or not I can know facts about it other than where it came from or whatever.
Yeah, so
I was having this
gives me
conversation
more
with somebody
explanatory
earlier.
power. That's
That's fine,
how it
but
works.
that doesn't overturn the all of our other knowledge. I mean, this is exactly how flat earthers talk. Um when
Flat
we
earthers, yeah.
yes, when we look at the universe, uh we we see that it's expanding. It's just okay.
Hmm.
Big Bang confirmed right there. Now there's other stuff
Yeah, no,
about the Big Bang,
I believe in the Big Bang.
but so your only qualm is we don't know where the Big Bang came from?
Well, we do know it came from God, the
You don't
Abrahamic
know
Christian God
that.
specifically.
You
Yes,
believe
I
in that.
do.
No, you don't know that.
So how do you know your facts? Like, explain it to me. How do you know something to be true for you? Like, what is your? At what point do you know something to be true for you?
So knowledge is justified true belief, and true is that which corresponds with
Justified. What does
reality.
justification
So
mean? What does
again,
justification mean
justification is just
for
I
you?
don't
Like,
know,
what counts as justification?
as like a good or rational justification. Well,
Sure.
that's kind of nebulous. Like that, I wouldn't say that has an answer. I think it's going to have a bunch of answers. So it's going to have to follow.
I'm sorry. Does that mean it changes based on the conversation topic? What counts as justification for you?
Well, it can in a sense, because what justifies scientific knowledge is very different from what justifies, like, I don't know, social norms, I guess. Those are just completely different things.
Well, social norms come from God, first of all, if that's what you're asking about.
Like if a woman is raped, then the father can force her to marry her rapist. Yeah.
Um, no,
No,
that's not a social norm,
that's literally in the Bible. No, I know it's
but it's
from
not.
God.
Yeah, God doesn't believe that. You know about the concept of
Uh,
working with people within their time to make
that's
them better? It's called pragmaticism.
Oh, so God's just pragmatic. Okay. So
Yeah, he actually is because if you're
okay,
dealing with
then we don't
limitations
need
like
God.
people.
Then we just need to be pragmatic, I guess.
Well, yeah, maybe we should be. The first way to be pragmatic is to does God change? What does that even mean?
God changes
Stupid.
all the time.
In what ways? Name one.
Do you live in a new covenant?
In a new covenant. I guess, yeah.
Okay, well then God changed. Okay.
Well, that's not him changing. That's
Yes, it
him
is.
developing his moral rules so that way they're more
Developing,
achievable
as in
by
change
us.
over
They're more
time.
achievable.
Things that develop necessarily change over time. That's
Yeah, but that's
it's
not
just
him
what.
changing. That's his limitations for us
Oh,
changing. That's his
geez.
decision changing. Like, it's as humans got smarter and more rational and were able to see God more clearly and understand his viewpoint, we sort of, he was able to shift his rules. That's what the New Testament is. It allows us to get closer to him. God doesn't have limitations, people do. As we got closer to the limitations he set out, he's able to extend them.
You know what else has
Does that
nothing?
make sense to you?
No. You know what else has nothing to do with evolution?
Of course it doesn't. Sure.
This has nothing to do with evolution.
Okay, yeah, I can connect it back to evolution if you want. So, yeah, the very best I can say is that evolution happens on a very small scale. So people change over time. You want to explain to me how we can go from 23 chromosomes to like 13 or 16 or 9 or any of these other numbers we find in other animals?
We don't turn into other animals.
Isn't that what evolution says?
So, no, what
That
you're
things turn into different animals over time?
yeah, yeah, but what you said is not that. You might like you said, how does a human turn into an animal with 9 chromosomes? That's we don't do that.
Well, how did an animal before us turn into us with 23, right? It's 23.
We have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We have 46
Right.
total.
So 46 total. Yeah.
Yes. So the other great apes have one extra chromosome pair. So, in order for that to be the case, then there are a couple things you can imagine, but a chromosomal fusion would be, I guess, that was the most sensible prediction. And then lo and behold, we figured out how to sequence chromosomes. And we found out that, yes, the human chromosome number 2 is a fusion of 2 other chromosomes. When you compare our chromosome number 2 to chromosomes from like chimpanzees, our chromosome 2 has exactly the same genes as 2 of theirs do in the exact same order, with one of them inverted because the chromosomes fused like this. The chromosome fusion site for chromosome number 2, this has been known for a really long time.
So it couldn't have been that God just reused the same genes because it was easier. Is that not
Why,
possible?
why would an all-powerful God do something like that? So what you're doing
Because it
here,
because it makes sense.
but
Go ahead. What
you
am I
ever
doing?
you ever watch South Park?
Yeah,
Do you remember the episode with Captain Hindsight?
Captain Hindsight. I don't think so. What like is
It
that
was
early in the show?
Yeah, it was like in the middle. So it was really funny. Every
Okay.
time there was a natural disaster, this superhero named Captain Hindsight would fly in and then he would say, "Oh, well, what they should have done was this, that, and that. And then they shouldn't have done this, that, and the other thing." And then for some reason, everybody thinks that that's a superpower. It's not. So when we're
I would
talking
say
about,
hindsight in itself kind of is a superpower. Being able to go back, analyze history, and realize where we made mistakes. A lot of people can't do that. I'm assuming you probably struggle in that realm.
no, uh, so it's not, I'm not saying hindsight's useless, but it's definitely not a superpower. You know what's better than what would at least be preferable is to, instead of in hindsight realize what you did wrong, predict what the failures would be and then make sure that they don't happen. Like when we flew to the moon, there were so many things that could have gone wrong, but we tested for pretty much all of them, and then we made sure that those problems didn't become problems, except for Apollo 13, but they did make it back. But anyways, so going back to this whole thing about the chromosome, what you're doing is called post hoc. Okay.
So
Af-
is this so
post
are we
hoc.
going to start talking
After
about like linguistic gymnastics? Is that what we're going to
No,
move to?
no, this is really simple. So anybody can take the facts after the facts have been gathered and then say, "Oh yeah, those facts are my facts. Here's how I'm going to force them to work with my worldview." What we did was we predicted what would happen, and then it came true. Anybody
Yeah,
can
you
do post
predicted
hoc.
evolution. Isn't that literally post hoc then? You predicting something that you claim already happened by saying you
No,
predicted evolution?
no. We predicted very specific evidence.
So you're saying you predicted you would find certain evidence. Is that what you're saying?
Yes?
I mean, I guess I don't really intuitively have a problem with that specifically. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's as good of an explanation since it lacks as much explanatory power as something like God.
But no, God is there's zero explanatory
They
power in
have,
God. You didn't
I
give
can,
an explanation, you
it
gave a
tells you,
post
it
hoc
tells you,
rationalization.
like, give me one example and I can show you how God is a better example.
How
Like,
did God
weather.
how did God create the universe?
How did God create the universe?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I
I don't
mean,
know how the universe was created, so maybe that's not a great
it's
example. But
okay, but I can tell you,
uh
like,
how did
the
God
same way
cause
he
the
created everything else.
Sure. How did God cause the 2004 Indonesian tsunami that killed 250,000 people? How did he do that?
How did he do it?
Yeah.
Like, specifically, he willed it to happen, I guess.
That's an explanation?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a
I don't
scientific
know. Like,
explanation, which
you're
is that there
asking a
was an
mortal
earthquake and
with limited knowledge to explain how God does things, something that
so you just went
exists
from
outside
I
his
have
reality.
more explanatory power to admitting I have no idea how God does
No,
anything.
that's not what I did at
And
all.
you went
Just
from
because I
you went
know
from
what something
100 to
is, but I
0
might not
in
know.
3 seconds flat.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't have a basis for anything. You just claim things
The
happen.
tsunami in 2004 was caused by an undersea earthquake, which caused part of the ocean crust to lift
Yeah,
up. We know that.
sure.
Okay.
And what?
What's your
Yeah, God
alternative?
made it that way. God made it that way.
What
That is,
evidence of that do you have?
it's in everything. I mean, have you even heard of the idea that we are fit
Have
for
I ever
our
seen a tree?
environment,
Yeah.
or that our environment is fit almost perfectly for us, as
It's
well as every
not.
other creature on Earth? Yes, it is.
Go
There's a
outside.
reason
Go
you can't
outside and
survive in the
drink
vacuum of space.
go outside and drink water out of a random puddle. See how
I'm
that
sure I'll
works
be
for you.
fine. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, as long as it's not mosquito infested, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Oh, well, I thought it was perfect though.
Just because, what do you mean?
Okay.
Like, he didn't make us immortal. That's not what
Then it's not
perfection means in this case.
What does
It mean
perfect
when we
mean?
say perfection, when we say perfection, it means perfectly fit for the like organism to survive in its environment. We are perfectly fit
Okay.
for our environment,
If I dropped you
and
onto
our
a
environment is perfectly fit for us.
if I dropped you naked onto if I spun a globe and just pointed to some random place on the
It's not
world
our environment.
and
It's
I
not our environment.
okay, well then it's not perfectly suited for you.
Well, the entire Earth
Just
isn't our environment.
you went from
No, only
100 to
certain
0
parts are.
in
Are
3
you
seconds
serious?
again.
No, you
Yes, I'm
gotta be kidding. You gotta be
100%
kidding.
serious. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. There's
Where
no
is my
way.
globe? I have a globe somewhere.
Think about it this way: only certain areas are meant for humans to be in. He made the Earth for us, but he made it so that way other creatures could survive in it too, to provide for us. Got anything for that?
Nothing
Probably
that
not.
lives on the bottom of the ocean is providing for me. Why did God create a planet
They
that's
provide for the
mostly
creatures
an
that provide
ocean?
for us,
Why did God create an ocean that is mostly uninhabitable to humans if the earth is perfect for us?
because we don't need that much. I mean, that's like the clear answer. We don't need like to live in the ocean. Why do we need to do that when we have land?
He
We
told
don't
us to be
need.
fruitful and multiply and then made it so we can't even exist on the majority of the earth's surface.
Why do we need the majority of it?
If
We
it's
seem to be doing
if
fine
it's
right now.
perfect, if it's perfect, then that's what you would
The fact
expect.
that we've made it, the fact that we've made it 6,000 years shows you that it's perfect.
I would say hundreds of thousands of years, but no,
Hundreds of thousands.
you know that like close to like probably 30 or 40% of all the people that have ever been born died when they were kids from diseases that God for whatever
Yeah, to
reason
make sure
decided to
we didn't get
make and then not
overpopulated.
tell us about
Yeah, it serves a
to
purpose.
make sure that we don't so God just kills little kids in order to prevent the world from being overpopulated.
You
There's
really
8
think you could
there's
understand?
8
You
bill
really think
Okay,
you could
this is your
ever
claim.
comprehend the necessity of it?
This is your claim. The reason so many kids died is to prevent the world from becoming overpopulated. There are currently 8 billion people on this planet. So how many children do you think need to die? We know, because you work for Turning Point, I know for sure you think all the Palestinian kids need to die. That's not enough though. How many more
No.
kids need to die?
If we assimilated them, they wouldn't need to.
How many more? Okay, so you do think that all Palestinian children need to die.
Not no. I think
You
that we need
said
to help the
need to.
Palestinians.
You said they wouldn't need to die. So you do think that they need to
That's
die.
not okay. That's not what I meant. That's not what I
Okay.
meant.
How
I
many
meant I meant
how many people today need to die?
go ahead.
Because the world is obviously overpopulated. There's more people
No.
alive today
It
than
can
there
fit
ever
11
was.
billion people. It can fit 11 billion people just fine.
Then there
It's
goes your
because
then
there's
there
so many
goes your
corrupt human
explanation.
beings.
You said
There's so many
God
corrupt human
created.
beings that
You said
steal
God
resources.
killed all those kids throughout history to prevent the world from becoming overpopulated. Now you're saying,
And yeah, we're not overpopulated.
Now you're saying we could do 3 billion more humans. So there goes your
we
explanation.
could. Yeah, he just didn't want it to happen too fast, I guess. I mean, like, I can't tell you. I'm not inside his head.
Oh, this is insane.
I'm not inside his head, buddy. I'm not inside his head.
Oh.
Like, though I might understand our relationship, I can't tell you what he's thinking right now. That doesn't make, like, what? I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what my roommate over there is thinking. Like,
Sure.
I don't know.
So let me say something. The reason that most people died, like children, is because of diseases and birth defects and things like that.
Right.
This is a completely naturalistic explanation. And then we invented medicine. Why did that happen afterwards? Because the vast majority of the things causing that death are completely invisible agents to our natural senses. And so it could only come after a huge amount of time where we collectively gathered information and then started doing science and all this other kinds of stuff. So I gave an explanation. Your explanation was, how do you expect me to know why God did anything?
If evolution was true, wouldn't we be able to see these, or at least detect these microorganisms?
No.
Why?
If God was good, wouldn't he make us aware of the things that have killed most of us?
He wants us to have free will and be able to discover things on our own. He gave us the creation for us to discover.
Having free will has nothing to do with whether. Then why did he have
it has everything.
Then why did he have to send his son down? Why couldn't we just use our free will to save ourselves?
It's symbolic, something that we could understand. So anyways,
we keep not talking about evolution, which is partially my fault, but I think it's mostly your fault.
Okay, whatever you say.
An organism's survival is not about knowing all possible things or having all possible abilities. I mean, I could just ask you the question:
being able to survive.
If God created us, then why don't we have wings so we can fly? It would be better if we had wings.
Because why would we need to fly?
Why not? It would help us escape natural disasters.
Well, natural disasters are a necessity for people. They teach us. They teach us how to. They give us the. Oh, what did I just get? What is that? Sorry, I just got a notification. I don't know what that is.
The God you believe in is like that really disturbed kid that just fries ants with a magnifying glass. That's the thing you believe in. It's so weird.
Dude, what? How is that like analogous at all?
God needs to create a world that kills countless billions of people because that teaches us lessons about things.
It teaches us how to prevent things so that when we finally reach the kingdom of heaven, we're fully matured. Our souls are matured.
Do you think parents should act like this? Do you think parents should just
act like what?
Do you think okay, which parents do you think
parents should educate their children?
Which
two off the phones?
Well, I agree with that. Which two families do you think would be best? Family 1 has only 3 kids and they teach their kids everything they can think of. They teach them all the science they can think of. They teach them lots of like philosophy or whatever. They teach them, I don't know, like whatever. And these kids are really well.
They're teaching them to worship devils.
Oh, geez.
I mean, nothing wrong with philosophy and principle, unless you're like, I like metaphysics.
Just stop. So family A has only 3 kids and they teach them all these things. And so these kids grow up and they say no to drugs. They practice responsible safe sex. They don't drive their cars stupid. They don't drink and drive. They don't listen to RFK. They whatever they do, and like these kids, like they go through some hardships in life, but for the most part, they just have really good lives. Or family B. Family B has like 100 children, and the parents basically don't teach their kids anything. Most of their kids die, but then the parents, like, they write down, or the kids write down how all their brothers and sisters died, and then they figure out basically through just brute trial and error and all these deaths what to avoid. Which parents did a better job? Family A or family B?
Well, the first family had to go through the process that the second one did. The first ever family had to go through the process that family B did. So I guess it was necessary for someone, right?
So
The
which
first ever family in the history of the world. They had to
that
go through the process of trial and error, figure out what was killing people, you know?
Yeah, so we can come to that. That's a decent rebuttal. But if we just compare families A and B,
Um, I prefer the one I don't like either of them. I don't like the one that's just letting their kids die, but I also don't like the one that's sort of trying to implant false ideas inside their kids' heads. So I think I prefer the second one because actually, you know what? I prefer the first one because at least they're saving their kids' souls, right?
I never said they were Christian, but whatever. Okay, so family A is better. But why is God family B? So God can't be any good
Why?
then. You said the first
No,
family
that
had to go through that. No, they didn't. God could have just told Adam and Eve, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you just a few things. There are these things called germs. Wash your hands. Slavery is bad. I'm gonna go away now. And in a few thousand years, my son's gonna
Well,
tell
think
you
about it
some
this
other
way.
things."
Think about it this
But
way.
God didn't do
How
that.
could they ever get critical thinking skills if they didn't have to figure this stuff out on their own? How are they ever going to learn how to be
How
like
many
rational
how many
humans if they're
how
just
many
told how
dead
to do
kids
everything?
equals critical thinking skills? Man, you must think that
I guess it's
Hamas,
billions, right?
they must be the smartest people on earth because of how many children that
Well, it's not how
your
many.
allies are
It's
killing.
who learns from their mistakes. It seems like America learned from their mistakes at least, right?
No, we're at war with Iran. We didn't learn anything.
Yeah, to protect ourselves.
You are such a fucking idiot and just a naive
Yeah, keep
dipshit.
going. Keep
Was the,
going.
was
Keep
the
going.
Iraq war a great success?
No.
Okay, how's this any different?
How is this different? Because
Oh,
they have
oh, remember
nuclear
that?
weapons.
Remember
How
that?
that's different. That's how it's different.
God, you're an idiot. No, they don't. Who told you
Yeah,
that?
look at you. Yeah, yeah, look at you. You always have to come back to insults because you have
And
nothing
remember
intellectual to
that
say here.
Iraq was predicated on weapons of mass destruction too, which they didn't have. Iran has nuclear weapons. Who told you that?
Well, they're literally about to get them.
No, they've been 2 weeks away from having them since 1985. Geez, what's the deal with that,
What?
buddy?
No, they literally are about to get them. They just brought in a team of the best scientists across the world
Who told you
to
that?
come help them. What do you mean? Who told me this? I was looking at empirical case studies to learn about this.
Where do you get your information from?
I mean, like I don't know what you want me to tell you specifically. I
Okay.
mean, I like to read the Associated Press sometimes. Um, like that's my news source preference. I don't really like Fox News anymore.
Do you know do you know that the last Ayatollah had a total fatwa on nuclear weapons?
Can you repeat that?
The previous Ayatollah, who's just killed not
Yeah,
too long ago,
right. Good.
completely. You probably don't know what fatwa means. He had a total. He banned the development of nuclear weapons. He said it's incompatible with Islam.
Uh, I mean, how do you know that? I doubt that. First of all, considering he was literally.
You know, we like to run we like to make the comment, wow, these people can vote. This is so much worse because Toilet Paper USA is like a youth organizing uh apparatus, whatever we want to call it. So not only can that thing vote, That thing is going around regurgitating all the things it says in order to inspire people to vote. It's so much worse. Fucking A. God. Get a free book, 2 free audiobooks, and ad-free videos by becoming a Patreon member.